Welcome back once again to Cleveland Indians Baseball on the show here on MLB 15 the show, and today it is time for the American League Championship Series where the Cleveland Indians will be hosting the Boston Red Sox in Game 1 for a 2015 World Series berth. The Red Sox were previously in the World Series in 2013 versus the St. Louis Cardinals, winning it all that year on what is widely considered to be a fluke run and a product of very, very high amounts of luck. But now they're trying to prove that it wasn't luck and win their second World Series in 3 years. And as you can see, their stat leaders now are not the same as those stat leaders 3 years ago, as none of those players were on the 2013 team when they went to the World Series. So we're going to have Corey Kluber on the mound for us tonight as we face this deadly Red Sox lineup that is always capable of producing. We saw that in Game 162 of the season when they stopped us from winning 100 games on the season when we were at 99, and we finished with a 99-63 record as a result of the loss to the Boston Red Sox. And now they are reappearing to start trouble once again. Oh, I guess they hope that anyway. We hope that they don't, and we hope that they are going to go down tonight, and we are going to be the ones to defeat them because no one else is given this opportunity. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. It's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series as the Cleveland Indians are hosting the Boston Red Sox in Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. And please rise for pregame ceremonies as the team will be taking the field on defense, and we will be given a look at the lineup for the Boston Red Sox in just a few moments. But first, let's look at the pitching matchup as Corey Kluber and Clay Buchholz will be facing off, a pair of right-handers who have both pitched a game in the playoffs. Not performing very solidly, although Clay Buchholz does have a dazzling 10.8 Ks per 9 ratio. And here's what John Farrell, former Blue Jay manager, is going to throw out tonight. Joe Panik is DHing, hitting 176. Pablo Sandoval at third, and former Cleveland Indian Dion Viscaito hitting 316 and playing right field are among the notables in the Boston Red Sox lineup. A very deep and balanced lineup. Corey Kluber's on the mound, 14-8 in the regular season with a 292 earned run average with 207 strikeouts. So he followed up his Cy Young campaign very nicely. So let's get into it. Joe Panik, one out, top of the first actually, with a 3-2 count, and he's going to beat out that throw by Jason Kipnis. The turn throw was not in time. And so Joe Panik is on first, and then the next batter would single into left field. And so there are runners on first and second with just one out for the Cleveland Indians. Right-handed ace Corey Kluber, one of the best pitchers in the American League, is on the mound today. And David Ortiz, the killer of me, whenever I play MLB The Show and we go up against David Ortiz, seem to always do damage. And there he drives in a run for the Boston Red Sox. So early scoring is a very, very hard thing for our team to prevent, I guess. And a really, really bad defensive miscue right there will put a runner on second, and a run comes across the plate, a 3-2 count for Dustin Pedroia, and he is going to line out. But 2 runs later, and the Indians have already dug themselves a hole here. Maybe a little bit jittery for their first championship appearance in quite a few years. As you can see, Urshela and Daniel Nava are getting a shot tonight in the lineup for the struggling Mike Aviles and David Murphy. And Clay Buchholz takes the mound for the Boston Red Sox. Their second best pitcher in terms of ERA and wins this year to Wade Miley. At 144 strikeouts in a regular season, a 3.70 earned run average with 14 wins on the year, which is pretty good for a team that finished with 94 wins to have a pitcher with 12 of them, or 14 of them. You got to be I think he played a pretty big role in that. So Michael Brantley was up to bat, and he is going to draw a walk right there. And then Brandon Moss is the next batter, and he is going to line that one into left center field, and Mookie Betts is going to field it. Michael Brantley is going to get into third, head first slide right there. His helmet actually slid off too. And the next batter was Urshela, and he's going to hit that down the left field line, and that is going to score a run. So we gave up 2, but we got 1 back on that play. And so it's a 2-1 game in favor of the Red Sox now. And Brandon Moss is going to strike out looking. So we'll get into the top of the second inning right here. 3-2 count, and that is going to be a walk distributed by Corey Kluber. So he has just not had a good night at all up to this point. 2 runs have already scored. He's letting more runners on with no outs right here. Xander Bogaerts is going to line that one into right field, and just a bad night for Corey Kluber. Just can't get anything to go his way. The next batter is Ryan Hanigan, 1-2 count, and that one is going to be in the dirt. We are going to get a runner out at third base, however, as they got a little greedy sending their runners ahead on that play, and then Mookie Betts would strike out at the plate. So we do get a little bit of a break after letting a couple runners on. Carlos Santana in the bottom of the second, a 3-2 count, and he says goodbye baseball. It's a right-hander, it doesn't matter. Home run for Carlos Santana as he is trying to get a rally going for the Indians. He ties up the game right there after a very shaky start to the game for the Cleveland Indians. It is now a tie, and we are right back in this. Clay Buchholz and Corey Kluber continuing to have poor playoff showings as they both given up 2 runs through 2 innings again after having very bad starts in their first playoff appearances. But that's not what matters right now. The hitting is coming through for both teams as they are getting a lot of opportunities right here. Yan Gomes, 3-1 count, and he's going to lash that one into left center field. Could have been a double, not quite going to be a double, but he is on first, and there's another runner on for the Indians. And then the next batter is going to be Ben Revere, hitting toward the bottom of the order, or maybe the order went back around already, who knows. He's going to single on a 3-2 count, and so there are 2 runners on. Carlos Santana really inspired this team to play better offensively. Only 1 out, and that's going to be swung through by Jason Kipnis, the other Indian star, one of the big 3 hitters on the team. Michael Brantley, one of the other big 3 hitters, is going to fly out. So that is going to end the inning, but we do at least tie it up right here. Top of the third inning, 2-1 count, and this ball is going to be lightly tapped into the air, and Yan Gomes throws it over the head of Carlos Santana, and the runner is going to go all the way to second on the throw. Errant throw, error on the catcher, Yan Gomes, and then David Ortiz comes through again. 2-run shot for the Boston Red Sox, and they take the lead right back 4-2, and again, it's David Ortiz. Again, I just can't get David Ortiz out for some reason. He's just like the killer for me. So it's just every time you see David Ortiz at bat, expect a big play for the other team, because I just cannot figure out how to beat him. I think he hit a home run against me in the last game we played, game 162 of the season, and if not, he had a couple RBI doubles or something. I remember him being a pain in the rear end. But top of the third now, Pablo Sandoval is going to strike out on the cutter right there. A nice pitch location for Corey Kluber. He's hitting the spots, but he's not having any luck with getting batters to miss that, as Giovanni Urshela struck out on a pitch way outside, and then Brandon Moss is going to strike out on a pitch that's way too high that time. So we don't get anything going in the bottom of the third. Top of the fourth, and that is another home run. So Corey Kluber is having not a good night. He's been getting beat up all night. This one is from, I want to say it's Dion Visiedo. Can't quite see clearly because my preview screen is a little bit blurry, but and I should be wearing glasses, but I don't because they freaking look gay. If any of you have that same problem, you know what I mean. So 5-2 game for the Cleveland Indians over the Boston Red Sox right now. Xander Bogaerts is up to bat, and he's going to join the party. Another home run, and now it's 6-2 in favor of the Boston Red Sox, and this one's starting to get ugly. Corey Kluber just got absolutely shelled in his start tonight, and he does not have anything to say at this point. He is just frustrated with himself, and he's really not making any progress in improving his standing, as it's 6-2 now, and he's given up, I believe, 4 runs just in this inning. So he's still in the game, though, trying to get at least an out. Ryan Hanigan is going to provide that for him as he grounds it over to third, and it's thrown over to the first baseman, Carlos Santana. And he's going to try and get through the rest of the inning unscathed, and Joe Panic is going to strike out. So that does happen, but he gave up 4 runs in the process. Carlos Santana back up to bat, and he does it again. This time it is going to go off the very top of the wall, but he is delivering tonight, despite it being a right-handed pitcher and him having discrepancies against right-handed pitchers. He is coming through for the team right now. And then Yan Gomes is going to hit that one, and that is going to be over the left field fence and gone. So we're staying in this game with the long ball. Just as the Red Sox were scoring, we've scored a couple now on that 2-run shot by Yan Gomes, and now it's just a 6-4 game. And Clay Buchholz is having an almost as bad showing as Corey Kluber. Not quite as bad, but almost as bad. And so the next batter is going to be Ben Revere. 3-1 count, 1 out, and he is going to walk. So Ben Revere walks. I know it's not very common to see, but he does walk right there. And then the next batter is Brandon Moss, and he is going to hit that one, but it's stabbed by the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. And so it throws over to first, and then Michael Brantley is going to pop up. So Michael Brantley is really not coming through for his team. He's supposed to be our best hitter, but he's all around down year from usual. Sean Markham would come on to spot Corey Kluber because despite his improvements after giving up all those home runs, he had like 80 pitches, I think, through 4 innings. So Sean Markham comes into the game, really calmed down. Top of the 5th, 0-2 count, and that changeup just falls in there. It almost looked like an eephus pitch from here. But as you can see through 6, nothing really happened in the last 2 innings. David Ortiz is 2 for 3 with a home run, and Santana is also 2 for 3 with a home run, and he also has a double to show. And Clay Buchholz does have 7 strikeouts despite giving up quite a few runs. Top of the 7th here, this is where the game would kind of start to pick up again. Mookie Betts is going to hit that one down the right field line, and Nava struggled to field it very quickly, and so the runner is going to take second. Very speedy man anyway. And then Dustin Pedroia, I believe this is going to lash that one into right field. And the same thing happens every time someone plays in right field. They just miss the ball. And I couldn't even find it. And Justin Pedroia waits like 8 years to go to second. And then I don't even remember why, but I threw home. David Ortiz, 1-2 count. And he actually gets out right here, surprisingly. I thought that was going to be another big play for the Boston Red Sox. But David Ortiz actually goes out. And so we got Brandon, or is that Jason Kip? Jason Kipnis is up. And he hits this one down the right field line. So we got a runner on first. And I believe this is the bottom of the 8th. Or the 7th. This is the bottom of the 7th. Michael Brantley. And the pitch out. Jason Kipnis is going to be safe still, though. So Michael Brantley now is a 2-1 count. And he hits it off the pitcher. And Michael Brantley, he does come through right there, barely getting an infield single. Runners on the corners now. Zunichi Tazawa is going to enter for the Boston Red Sox. They're a top reliever over the last few years. He's actually performed very well in many seasons. And this is going to be a long fly ball. It's going to be a sac fly, hopefully, for Jason Kipnis. But he is gunned out of left field by Hanley Ramirez. A nice outfield assist from him right there in his first year playing the outfield. And Sean Markham is going to get another strikeout right here. So it's a 7-4 game now. And it's the top of the 9th. And Sean Markham is still in. And Xander Bogaerts is going to ground it. But Francisco Lindor dropped the ball. That should have been ruled an error. I believe it was ruled a hit. And Ryan Hannigan hits it down the left field line. So there are runners on first and second after that error on the usually sure-gloved Francisco Lindor. But then Mookie Betts is going to hit this in right field. It's going to sac fly the runner over to third base. A strong throw from Nava, but it is cut off. It would not have probably gone to third anyway. And Jason Kipnis somehow injured himself on this play. I don't exactly know where he did, but it might have been making that throw. But it says he's out for the season, and he actually didn't even really get injured at all when I went to the exit screen. It didn't tell me anything about having to manage his injury, but he does have to be taken out of this game. And so we would insert, I believe, Kevin Franzen into the game to play defense at second base. I chose him over Aviles in case I had to pinch hit with Aviles later, because in case they brought in lefty or something. I was just kind of saving him in case something happened. But Dustin Pedroia hits a fly ball right here out to right field, and that is going to be fielded by Daniel Nava, and the runner gets over to third. Runners on the corners, and of course it's David Ortiz again with his 4th run batted in of the night. So a big night for Big Papi, David Ortiz. And now it's a 9-4 game, and this is going to be grounded to Kevin Franzen at second. It's thrown over to the shortstop who was covering, but they already did their damage. Yan Gomes is going to hit a single right here, and then we're going to have Francisco Lindor at bat, and that is going to be a double, or a single actually, because it's cut off very well by Mookie Betts. We're going to try and send Yan Gomes over to third, and he actually is going to get thrown out. I thought he was safe, and I thought the tag missed, but no, he is not. And Ben Revere is going to hit a double right here, and that is actually going to be a double, unlike what I thought was a double that wasn't. And I think the runner scores on this play. Yes, the runner scores on this play, but it's 9-5. Edward Mujica comes into the game. His fall from grace has been well documented, but he actually has a pretty good stats in this game still. But Kevin Franzen cannot hit against him still. That was a situation where I should have pinch hit, and I just didn't. Michael Brantley going to ground out to first, and that ends the game. So final score of 9-5 in Game 1 here, and the Indians really need to have a bounce-back performance in this series to really take it. The next episode is going to be the first elimination game of the series. You guys will see what that is when it is released tomorrow. Until then, I am out. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone.